Hi, I'm Rob,
And I'm Anna.
and today we're going to be talking about building your list, lead magnets, and opt-in forms in Drip. So over the next few minutes, we're going to talk about building lead magnets, our recommended types of lead magnets that we see working, as well as the different type of opt-in forms and other ways to get subscribers into Drip. And surrounding this, we're going to use an example, and it's a guy named Frank who visits your website.
So Frank is a typical visitor to your site, and we know that most folks, 99 out of 100 folks on your site, will not opt in. But because you are using a form or some kind of widget that shows an offering that's valuable to your visitors, they opt in. And so Frank sees your form offering what is typically a very common model for Drip users, a crash course where it's maybe a few days long and they see multiple emails coming out from you on a topic that's relevant to their interest. Or maybe it's a sample download. If you're a publisher, maybe it's a sample chapter of your ebook. If you are a software company, maybe it's a sample version of your software or a free trial. And so they see these widgets pop up and they use those to opt in and to join your list. And as you're looking at this example, Frank has either submitted this widget for the crash course or for the download. Once he does that, he's actually opting into a workflow that you've built in Drip. And the workflow is designed to nurture Frank. And you can see in this example, it's a little small on the screen, but you can see that he's actually being put into a campaign. And Rob's going to cover the reason why we recommend using campaigns to nurture your leads and why that's going to help you increase your conversion rates.
So there can be a bit of debate in the email marketing and marketing automation space about whether it's best to use mini courses or PDFs, like a tools list or a short ebook, in order to get someone onto your list. And at Drip, we like to recommend, and we found that email mini courses work really well. 5-day, 7-day mini courses are typically the rule. And there's a lot of back and forth. They each have their own pros and cons, but here's a few reasons why we like to use mini courses and why we encourage you to use them as well. The first is that a mini course gives you multiple touch points. Basically, the person is agreeing to hear from you 5 times or 7 times right from the outset. So they're more likely to be engaged, more likely to read the emails. As a result, you get a higher open and read percentage and typically click percentage if you're asking for some type of call to action. It also gets subscribers into the habit of reading your email. They don't just get a single email with a PDF attached or PDF that it's linked to and save the PDF into some Dropbox folder and never refer back to it. It actually gets them starting to read, 400, 500 words per day of your content. There's also this thing, Gmail has it called Priority Inbox. And when folks engage with your emails and they read them, you're less likely to wind up in the promotions tab of it's kind of the purgatory of the Gmail priority inbox. And so over time, it just helps get you exposed and opened by more people. And there are some spam filters as well. If the folks aren't interacting with your emails or you don't have history of them opening the emails, then they're going to be less likely to let the emails through. So email mini courses have a lot of pluses. And in fact, in Drip, if you have 5 blog posts or a short ebook that can be turned into an email mini course, we will do that for you during your trial for free. We have templates that we can merge it into, and we'll put your email mini course together. There's a button right in the app where you can do that. If you'd prefer to do it yourself, we also offer blueprints for 5 and 7-day email mini courses. And those are just plug and play. You drop some content in, you drop your product name in, and it gives you a nice head start on building an email mini course. And to learn more about the mechanics of how to wire up a form in Drip, an opt-in form, and then put someone into a visual workflow where you can then actually send that email mini course or the PDF if you opt to go that route, we're going to look at that in the 2 videos coming in the series. One's called Building Your Workflow, and another is More Advanced Workflow Concepts. But for now, Anna's going to take over, and she's going to walk us through opt-in forms and other ways to get subscribers into your Drip account.
That's right. And so if you are in Drip and you're looking in the app, you will see a button on the top nav that shows you forms and widgets. And so what you're seeing in this screenshot right here is a final live version of a widget that's actually being used in the wild, and it's a drip widget. And in the beginning of this video, we showed Frank opting in. Same widget here. This is something that pops up that you can arrange in different parts of your site. In order to enable this widget in your site, there is one line of JavaScript that you need to install on your marketing site to enable the widget to pop up and be displayed to your web traffic. If you have a WordPress site, it's as simple as getting Drip's WordPress plugin installed and getting your Drip ID associated with that plugin. If you look in the notes for this video, there is a link to the KB in order to get this set up. So if you need further instructions, it's as simple as going to our knowledge base and looking at that article. But for now, let's look at the behavior of how this form appears. If you're in the forms section of your Drip account, the default when you create a form is to display this widget. If you don't want to use this widget, Rob will cover embedded forms in just a moment. But for now, if you're looking at this form section, you can see that you're looking at the ability to change the orientation of the form. This means that you can have it appear in different corners of your site, depending on where you want that appearing. You just select one of these options here. You're also seeing the option to show a lightbox version of the form, and that will just pop up in the center of your screen on your website. There's also the option, and it's not shown in this screenshot, but just above this area in your form section in your account, there's going to be an option for you to enable exit triggered forms. And what that means is this is a form that will only appear if your visitor attempts to navigate away from your page. Drip detects the action of someone navigating to close the page and will show the form at that point. And so this is helpful to re-engage someone who may be about to leave. So you really want to have a powerful call to action in the headline of that form. So moving forward, we're going to take a look at the behavior of your form. And Drip gives you many options to configure this. So if you have subscribers in your account who've already submitted this form, it won't appear for those. I want to make that clear. So Drip's forms are pretty smart in this way. They can detect someone who's already submitted it. It will no longer appear for that person. If someone sees the form for the first time, you can configure how long it should wait before it pops up, before they see it for the first time. In this case, you're seeing that it's a delay of 20 seconds. But you can also have it delayed by them scrolling to a certain part of your page, and that is controlled by the anchor function. And so if you do have anchor tags on your page, you can choose that checkbox and insert the anchor tag there in that text box. There are other options here as well. So if someone sees the form one day and then comes back to your site, you can say, don't show this again that next day that they visit. If they visit 2 days later, then have it show up at that point. And so you can see that third option there allows you to say the delay on at which they should see that form again. If they take the close action, press that X button, we can have that delayed by a certain number of days as well before they see it again. So that's a different kind of action. There are some more advanced things that you're seeing at the bottom here. In order to have it triggered through the API, there's an ID for that. And if you want to manually trigger your form using a link, you can have it triggered by clicking that link on a link on your page. That's something more advanced that you can see more documentation in our knowledge base about.
So that is our JavaScript opt-in widget. And we built Drip with this in mind to make it easy for folks to get set up with just a single line of JavaScript. There's certainly more advanced opt-in widgets that you can use from other providers that fully integrate with Drip, like Opt-in Monster and SumoMe as examples. Moving on to embedded HTML forms. These are the more traditional email marketing forms where you modify the HTML of a page and you insert the opt-in form. And this is the form at the top of the Drip blog. So I wanted to flip you in here real quick. There's a tab when you're selecting forms and you're selecting the types. And if you select widget, you get the stuff Anna just talked through. And if you select embedded form, then you get this. So there's a bit of code here. And if you're not going to use embedded forms, you don't have to pay attention to it. But this is the HTML code for an embedded form. And this is if you want to add a brand new form to your site. If you prefer to retrofit instead, you already have an existing form and you just want to send it to the Drip endpoint, you don't need to totally wreck the form. You just need to modify a few attributes. And these are the instructions on how to do that.
So that covers forms and widgets. Another very common way of getting people into your account is using landing pages. And we have direct integrations with lead pages. We have direct integrations with Gravity Forms, Kickoff Labs, Unbounce. These are very common providers to generate more leads, opting in. So whether it is a form or a specific page built to increase your conversions, those are really great ways of doing that. And so you just go to the integrations page in your account and follow the instructions there to set up those integrations. Also, Wistia and Zapier. If you use Wistia to host your videos, you can bring people in through their gate on those videos, or Zapier, you can connect with a number, quite a few hundred other apps that you could then use for your opt-ins. So this is a nice way of bolstering your efforts, not just with Drip widgets and forms, but also with these third-party providers as well.
Yeah, and in addition to these landing page providers, we're integrated with by many other landing page providers and opt-in forms. And in addition, if you look at all the payment providers like Authorize.net or Chargeify or PayPal or Stripe, even Shopify, while they're not landing page providers, they are easy, one-click, no-code ways to get your customers into Drip. And it'll send their purchase amount and their email address, save that information in custom fields, and you can easily get new subscribers in there as well. So rounding out other ways to get subscribers into Drip, we do have a full REST API, which is server-side, as well as a JavaScript API, which is client-side. So it's beyond the scope of this video to go into the depths of these, but we have detailed documentation. If you go to getdrip.com/docs, you'll find this page, and once you click through, you'll get the full instructions on how to either do an import or just do ongoing syncing using these two APIs. So a common question we get is, once you have someone and you're nurturing those leads, you have them going through the form, what do you do next? And we're not going to cover it in this video, but this is the preview of things to come when we start talking about building your workflow and advanced workflows. This is a visual representation of something that we actually do with customers who opt into one of our forms. You can see at the top, someone submitted a form, and then the steps that we would take to then nurture them into trial users or customers. So we're going to be discussing this in two separate videos about building basic and advanced workflows. If you have any other questions about lead magnets, opt-in forms, and other ways to get subscribers into your Drip account, please email us at support@getdrip.com.